And we shall crack on. So we're going to start in standing. We're going to start with some of the lunge stretches. So coming to our long lunge position, whichever way you want to go first, hands down on either, well, not on either side, on the inside of your foot. Or just sinking the hips down there. And what you could probably see, I'm kind of wiggling about a little bit. I'm dropping the hips. I'm turning the front knee out slightly and just circling and just trying to encourage my hips to open a little bit as I'm kind of sinking down here. So just wiggling, exploring, circling, and so on. And then we're going to move to the other side. So walk the hands around, shift the feet as much as you need to. And again, sinking down there. And just having a wiggle and a move around in that bottom position. And again, coming back around the other way. Both hands on the inside. A little bit of a wiggle. And we're going to do our rotation. We'll do elbow led. So elbow leads up towards the ceiling, you twist. And then elbow down towards the mat. Elbow up towards the ceiling. Elbow down towards the mat. One more, up towards the ceiling. And down towards the mat. And then walk the hands around again. Sinking there, bit of a wiggle. And then explore. And then leading with the elbow, rotate up towards the ceiling. And down towards the floor. Up to the ceiling. Down to the floor. And one last time, up to the ceiling. And down to the floor. And then from there, shuffle back round to the other side, just briefly. We're going to turn this into a Cossack squat. So from here, all you've got to do, I'm turning forward. So I'm turning my front foot, toes forward. So this front leg, if you like, is going to stay bent. And the opposite leg stays straight. You can lift the toes up and you're sinking down into what they call this a Cossack squat or a Cossack lunge. And then you turn back onto the toes, straighten up the foot, you're back where you started from, and walk the hands over to the other side. Sinking down there. And then just as we did before, front foot stays, or front foot turns, but the leg stays bent. And the other leg is straight. And you can sink down. You're trying to sink your hips down. If you can balance, great. Like I can balance on one side, but I'm crap on the other. And you might be high, you might be sinking low. If you could get your chest upright, I can push out my bent knee with my elbow and just exploring there. Have a wiggle and a roll and a circle and a jiggle. And then same thing again. We come back through to our lunge position. So whichever way you're facing, from where you are, just organize your feet so that you're back with your hands under your shoulders. One foot on the outside of your hands. And from there, we're going to step back to our plank position. So step the foot back to plank. Just get organized. So then we're going to transition into our side plank. So whichever direction, feet windscreen wiper, hip goes, and you're into your side plank, arm up in the sky. Hold it there. And then it's your top foot, yeah? So top foot comes across, splits the legs, about shoulder distance or hip distance, then bend the knee. So you kickstand on the toes at the back, lift the hips up even higher, and then reach the arm overhead. You're going to go palm down, and you're looking down at your bottom hand. And there's your wild thing. Hand comes back to the ceiling. You bring the top leg back over, so it's staggered. And then we slowly rotate back to plank. Organize the feet if we have to, and then we take it the other way. So nice and steady over into a side plank. When you're ready, take the top leg back behind you, bend the knee. So you've got a kickstand, lift the hips as you reach the arm over, looking down at your bottom hand. Arm back to the ceiling. Bring the top leg back over, nice and steady. It's all about the balance. And then pivot back to your plank position. And from there, we're going to lower down onto our front. About hip distance apart with the legs, shoulder distance apart with the arms, arms out overhead, thumbs up. So coming into our 4-point lift. So reach the arms and legs away and lift up. Hold 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Again, reach and lift, pointing the toes, calves tight, quads lifted, reaching the arms, reaching the legs, and lower down. One more like that, lift. And we hold 3, 2, 1, and lower down. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders. So we're coming up into 90-90. We're just going to flow through them, yeah? Side to side, 90-90. So whichever leg, I'm going to go right leg coming over to push myself up to a 90-90. And when you get to your 90-90, really try and sink that back hip down to the ground. Organize your legs if you need to, wherever they need to be, and really try and sit into that position as you come up. And then we go back down to the floor, side, and trying to get nice and upright and sink that back hip down as much as you can. Trying to get your butt cheek to the floor. Same again, over we go. Really sink in, and you can hang out here for a bit if you wish, or you can keep it flowing from side to side. Your choice. I'm just trying to get, I'm using my arms on my legs as well actually today to try and kind of pull myself upright and really sink that back hip down. Switching sides when you're ready. Sinking in. I'm doing the same thing, a lot of wiggling today. You know, I did this stretch session last night and I've been doing videos and I've had clients, so I've been all over the place. So everything's a little bit tight and sort of grumpy this morning. So the wiggling, you know, just kind of, well, I don't know, rather than just holding static positions, wiggling about. It's all about loosening stuff off. Couple more. A nice, easy movement. And getting the body to move. And one last time, whichever side. Perfect. And then again, well, actually, we'll come to windscreen wipers first. So kickstand the hands behind you, knees bent, and switching sides. There's windscreen wiper in the legs. Nice, easy one to start with. And then we're going to push out to our straddle position. So legs nice and wide, chest lifted and hinge forward, keeping the chest up. So it doesn't need to be a big movement down. It wants to be movement forward. So I'm trying desperately to hinge at the hips rather than my spine. I'm going to pause there and then straighten back up. You will need to lean back a little bit to bend the legs to take them to a shin box position. So my shin box is one shin forms the vertical, one shin forms the horizontal, the foot hugs even the knee. And then from there, palms pointing forward, palms together. All we're going to do is open and twist in the direction of the front leg. And then we close that off. We'll try and keep the arms where they are. So you're going to pick up the legs, push them back out to your straddle position, hinge forward, straighten back up. If you need to lean back a little bit, that's okay. But bend the legs and you go over to the other side. You've got your straddle, shin box position again. And then same thing, you twist into open in the direction of the front leg, the pointy one. And then close. Same thing, you start to pick up the legs, push them back out as wide as you can for your straddle, Hinge forward at the hips, trying to keep your chest up. Back up, bend and close into your shin box and open and twist. Close and pick up the knees and take them out to a straddle and hinge. And back up to vertical and close and rotate open. So I'm just trying to get it to flow a little bit. So rather than being kind of separate movements, as each one finishes, I'm moving into the next one. And a couple more. I'll do one this side, whichever side it is, and one the other side. Oh, got my legs wrong. Open. And close. And release the arms. Well done. Right. Okay. So coming into our usual beast position. Toes are tucked under. Knees are roughly in line with belly button. I'll do the activation here. So nice and wide through the shoulder blades, pushing the floor away. When you're ready, hover the knees. So while we're here, just a quick check-in. You're trying to turn your arm bones out. So I'm rotating my arm bones, elbow pits forward. Fingertips lightly gripping the floor. I'm trying not to tuck my tail. So I'm nice flat back. Some work obviously in the core, pushing the floor away. And then releasing the knees back down. 1 second. I was getting itchy. As soon as I come into a plank or anything where I can't use my hands, my nose starts itching. All right, same thing again, back to square one. When you're ready, hover an inch just off the floor. I'm going to hold and breathe. Neck nice and long. Last breath. And then releasing the knees down. And again, come off your wrists if you need to and give them a twirl. Just getting them warmed up while we're here. So coming into our start with under switches, I'm just going to get rid of my mat so that I can actually pivot on my feet on the floor. So starting off in our static beast position, we go left leg under switch to crab. So when we go to crab, the hand is coming down. So you're going to land in a 4-point crab. Okay, so hover the knees, left leg under switch to crab. So left leg comes under, right arm goes over, sorry. And you come all the way into crab, my bottom's hovering off the floor. We're going to move in a circle. So we're going to go right leg under switch back to beast. So I'm going right leg under switch. So essentially I've just traveled kind of a circle. Left leg under switch to crab. Right leg under switch to beast. I'm turning over in a circle. Left leg under switch to crab. Right leg under switch to beast. Let's go back the other way. Right leg under switch to crab. Left leg under switch to beast. Right leg under switch to crab. Left leg under switch to beast. And lower the knees. And then reset if you have a preferred direction. I have a preferred direction that I know what's happening in. So from there, we're going to practice the side kicks again. So side kick through. So coming back to your beast position, we go left leg. Yeah, we will. I'm looking at you guys. It's going to be my left leg. I'll show you what we're doing. So left leg under switch to side kick through is going to look like this. So I'm coming into this kind of halfway house. The kick goes after that, but I want you to kind of concentrate on what the feet are doing. So when I come back from here, I'm pressing on the gas, pivoting back through to beast. So it's a half side kick through. So the legs coming through, I'm picking up my hand, getting ready to do the pullback, but you want your sort of big toes in line And it's at that point that the heel comes down. So this foot is pointing in the direction that I want to travel. It's the hardest part, getting your foot to drop there. It will want to turn out. There's a lot more pressure on the knee. So come back to your beast position. If you want to take it so that you're taking whichever leg towards the camera, that's fine. So we're going to come into that halfway position. So I start to make the movement and I drop the heel so my toes are pointing forward. And I'm all the way suspended. I'm right in the middle, weight suspended on the arm to come back, push on the gas, so you're on the toes, and pivot back to beast. And we're going to try the other side. So hard to slow it down. That's where you get the strength from. Okay, so same thing on the other side. Halfway position, start to the movement. So you can see I'm on my toes now on this back foot here. I'm going to drop the heel so my toes are pointing in the direction I want to go. Getting ready to make the kick. To come back, heel lifts, so I can pivot back to beast. Same again on this side, halfway. Drop the heel so the toes are pointing the way you want to go. Lift the heel, pivot back to beast, and then lower the knees. And again, have a shake out of the wrists if you need to, which I do this morning. A roll as well. So we'll add in the kick. You're kicking in the direction that your toes are pointing. So this is where it's useful. I've got sort of lines on the floor. So I know that I'm going to be kicking at a 90-degree angle to the direction that I'm facing. It's harder if you're on an angle. So if you've got something on the floor, mat helps, or anything that's got a straight line so you can line yourself up. But otherwise, let's give it a go. So we're going to go left leg side kick through. So same thing, hover the knees, start the movement, drop the heel, then make the kick. And the top hand pulls back. I'm trying to drop my hips as close to the floor as I can. A lot of work on that bottom shoulder. You start to come back, toes, then lift the heel, then pivot back. We go the other way. Drop the heel, toes are together. Make a kick, pulling the hand back, elbow high, lift the heel, pivot back, and lower the knees. How we do? Yeah, not so bad. Just takes practice, like anything else, I suppose. It's my nemesis, this one. I can, my foot doesn't want to go in the right position. I'm very tight through the ankles. So let's do a few to each side, just so we have a play. So a little bit quicker. So we're going to hover the knees. Let's go left side kick through. Pulling the arm back, reaching the leg. It's slightly turned out, in case you hadn't noticed. Back through to beast. Same on the other side, right leg side kick through. Back to beast. Left leg side kick through. Pivot back to beast. Right leg side kick through. And we come back to our beast position and lower the knees. Okay, so we've been playing with scorpion, and we usually go for scorpion. It's the one where we come from this position and we touch the heel, the knee to the ankle, the knee to the wrist, your arm, ankle, and then we come up and around. Yeah, we can do that from beast as well. So it skips out all the wrist touching in the plank position. So it's called a scorpion. It's too early. It's called a scorpion switch, and all it is from beast, if I was to do a right leg version, is I pick up this foot, turn the knee, so I'm leading with the toes, just like the other version, and you go straight up from there. Same thing, it comes back down, leading with the knee, and you come back down to your static beast. Yeah, let's have a play with that. So same thing, set beast, hover the knees. We go right leg scorpion switch. So pick the leg up, turn the knee in, lead with the toes in a big circle up and over. The bottom heel is pointing out. The bottom knee is slightly bent. You are pushing the floor away, trying to get your shin parallel to the ceiling. We come back the same way. Leg comes out to the side, leading with the knee, and you drop back down to your beast position. Rest the knees briefly if you need to. We'll do the other side. Set beast. left leg scorpion switch, leading with the toes, up, heel turns out, knees bent, push the floor away, split the legs as much as you can, and then coming back down the same way, back to your beast position. How are we doing? So it's called a scorpion switch because it leads you into something else. So we're going to combine the two movements together. So we're going to go, if we were doing from beast, a left leg scorpion switch, we come out of that movement and down into a side kick through. So very quickly, left leg scorpion reach, or switch even, it comes back down, and as it passes that beast position, you got back to toes together, heel down, side kick through. And you could go back up again if you wish. So it leads you through, yeah? Leads you through onto different stuff. So let's just have a play with that. Let's just see how it feels to move through those movements. So whichever side you want, if you've got preferred, so I'm going to call it left because it's my left. If you kind of want to stay facing the camera, that's okay. So set beast, left leg scorpion switch, so get up there, into left leg side kick through. So you come back down. As you come down, the right knee is going to bend and pivot. The right hand's going to pick up, and your left leg is going to kick through, dropping the heel into your side kick. Let's go straight back up into your scorpion. So pivot back through beast without putting the foot down, and go straight back up into your scorpion switch. Knee bent, heel out, leg split, push the floor away, and then come all the way back down into beast, and then hover the knees and release. Oh. Anybody else sweating and panting? You find a non-sweaty bit on the floor. All right, so we're going to go the other way, or with the opposite leg. So opposite leg for you, if you're doing the same as me, it'd be right leg. So set beast, right leg scorpion switch, up we go. Check in, heel high, knee bent, leg split, shin parallel to the roof, and make sure you're pushing the floor away. That's kind of the most important bit. Then coming back through, the left knee needs to bend as you come down and pivot. Check the big toes kind of come together, and then take the kick. And then coming back through your beast position, keeping the foot up, go straight back up into your scorpion. And then come all the way back down into beast, and then lower the knees back down. Oh, little floor, putting stuff together. All right, let me get my mat back out. Coming up to standing, a little bit of balance work. Oh, make sure my head's on screen. So a little bit of standing mobility. This is what the session that I've put on for the stretch guys is all about, but we're just going to vary it slightly. So I'm going to stand on my left leg and bring my right leg up as far as I can up towards my chest. And then I'm going to turn it out to the side. Now, there'll be so far, you could get so far without turning your pelvis. That's fine. But I can make it go further if I turn on this leg. So I'm going as far as I can, and I'm letting my pelvis turn. So it's less about hip mobility than it is about strength on the opposite side, so the standing side, to allow me to turn my pelvis around out to the side. And then I'm going to turn my knee, so I'm shin parallel to the floor, and I'm going to try and turn my knee down and my heel up. I'm going to turn it back up towards the ceiling. I'm going to bring it back round. I'm going to lower it down. I'm going to try the other side. So what we're doing is internally, externally rotating the thigh. We've done this loads on the floor, but it takes it to a whole different level when you stood up and balancing on the opposite leg. And it is actually weirdly about mobility in the opposite leg, so the ability to balance on that leg, but then move the pelvis around the top of the thigh. So same thing, left leg picks up, Take it out to the side as far as it'll go without shifting your pelvis, and then turn the pelvis around so it goes out even further. And then from there, we're going to turn the thigh so that the shin goes parallel to the floor, knee pointing forward. And then if you can, turn so the knee points down and the heel points up. And come back to parallel, back to knee to the ceiling, and then back through center and lower back down. And then from there, same thing on the other side, lift. And then we're going to go in that same position. So we're going to turn and we'll come into that shin parallel to the floor position to start with. And then we're going to go knee up, knee down. So just it's a smaller movement because I'm repeating. So I'm turning the knee up as much as I can, but really I'm focusing more on the down. Trying to get my thigh bone to turn in. And I'm going to do one more. And then close it back off and lower it down because I lost my balance. So lower it down. All right, same on the other side. Up, out, thigh turns, so shins parallel. That's your start position. Then we turn it up and down, up and down. So my thigh's staying at the same level. It's just rotating in the socket. Last one, turn it up or down, turn it down, and then bring it home and place it down and give it a wiggle. Let's do one more time. Coming up, turning out. Now this time I'm going to come in a big, almost like you're stepping over a fence. So I'm here, I'm going to lift the leg up towards the chest and come over. I'm not going to quite tap the floor, but I'm in front again. And then I'm trying to take it back over this big fence, back out to the side, lower, back over the fence, in front, back over the fence, behind, ooh, and back over the fence, in front. And then we're going to switch sides, same thing, up with the leg first, out to the side, lift it up as high as you can to bring it up and over, as high as you can to take it back over the fence. So I'm turning it so it's coming forward, and then if I can get slightly behind me, great. Otherwise, out to the side. Ooh. One more time, over the fence, back over, and release it down. Give everything a wiggle. You managed to balance through that, well done. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. Let's finish off with our pretzel. So coming down onto whichever side. Hold the top knee, bottom ankle, pull the bottom leg back out of the way, and then open the chest to the ceiling, and breathe. And then gently release. Try not to let anything twang away from you. We switch sides. Top knee, bottom ankle. Pull the bottom leg back. And then opening the chest to the sky. Control your breathing. Deeper out breath. Trying to relax into the stretch. And then slowly release out of that. And